A month and a half have passed since the horrific mass-casualty Los Angeles Pacific Palisades wildfires in January. And even before the devastating fires, warnings and lessons about the dangers of poorly managed, government-claimed land, about poorly managed water systems, about the mismanaged Los Angeles Fire Department, and about the proven danger of power lines over tinder-filled land became apparent. And then glaring as the flames ate land, homes, health, lives, wealth, and hopes. Years ago, MRC-TV reported on the heavy presence of government control and authority that increased the fire threat there. And now, the collectivist colluders in California actually want to make it worse. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV, and here's the story. Kinsey Holden reports for Politico that AB 1075, proposed by Assemblyman Isaac Bryan, a Democrat, and Assemblywoman Tina McKinnon, a Democrat, would attack heroic private firefighting groups and their clients, people who lifted the burden off the tax-fed system, helping government-tied unions instead to push out efficient, ethical competition that has actually exposed the bureaucracy as the absurd Kafkaesque circus that it is. Quote, Los Angeles Democrats are teaming up with a statewide firefighters union on a bill aimed at private firefighting crews, such as the ones billionaire developer Rick Caruso hired to protect his properties as devastating wildfires burn swaths of the region. The legislation would block private firefighting companies from hooking up to public hydrants, targeting a long-standing headache for the union, end quote. Now, to her credit, Holden does acknowledge part of the reality of this dispute, of this battle between the government-employed union with its clout in the California Assembly and this private land developer who used his own money to protect his own properties and the holdings of his clients. She notes that his team claims they did not use hydrant water. Quote, Caruso, who owns a shopping center in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood, was the most high-profile figure known to have hired private firefighters during the Los Angeles area wildfires, though his team insists that he didn't use any city water, end quote. This is true. Video of his privately hired firefighting team shows that they brought their own giant water trucks. Quote, he was also a vocal critic of LA leaders' response to the fires, particularly Mayor Karen Bass, his opponent during the 2022 mayoral election, end quote. This also is true. But Caruso stands out for having warned about the fire threat and mismanagement before the fires. It's almost comedic to see the oppressive forces of government try to choke to inaction the private system that arose because people like Caruso could see the towering mismanagement of both the California water and land management and the Los Angeles area government. It's nightmarish to see politicians and their union power friends push to eliminate competitors who expose the largesse and waste, the inefficiency and confusion of the bureaucracy. The private system proved itself, and the government system failed, which is a lesson in economics and ethics, which themselves really are the same thing. Mr. Caruso not only lifted the burden off tax-paid firefighters, allowing them to apply their efforts elsewhere, his own taxes helped pay the government unionized firefighters' salaries and pay for that poorly managed water system. His choice to spend his own money meant that he wasn't forcing anyone to do his bidding or pay his way. And his choice to hire the private company helps that industry flourish, seeing others consider entering the market, which increases competition and decreases costs. In a completely contrary fashion, the scatterbrained collectivist system sees disparate interests with different views about what protection is, bash their heads and fight over their disparate interests and how much should be spent, whose money will be taken, to what extent, and who will write up the excuse notes when the system fails. Private companies that fail, well, they won't stay in business long. But the same can't be said for the mandate-based, tax-based, unionized government system. And the astounding thing about the difference could be the bald-faced way that the politically connected, who get their money through the force of government, deride the people who handle services and needs voluntarily without using force. Both Bryan and McKinnon are allies of Mayor Karen Bass, a Democrat who beat Caruso as she wound her way to office. Both are closely allied with the firefighters union, and both appear to dislike private initiative and the principles of freedom. In fact, Holden reports that Bryan claimed this whopper, quote, "Firefighting is a public good," the state lawmaker said. "It is a public resource. It is something that we all invest in and we all derive benefits from," end quote. Which allows us to take away one final lesson, that being the fact that there is no such thing as a public good. Valuation is subjective, so good only can be defined by each individual. Caruso was right about the fire risks, and he was right to hire private protection. And no one has a right to force someone else to pay for his own protection. That's a philosophical truism which stands through the ages. But of course, politicians in California not only think they can take people's money to fund their provably horrendous fire and water management systems, they think they can erect barriers to private enterprise that can provide flourishing, peaceful alternatives. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. Please share these videos, especially with younger people who might be interested in ethics and economics. These contemporary stories open up windows to derive long-standing lessons about those types of things that we can carry along with us for future instances like this. Please visit us at MRCTV.org. That's MRCTV.org to find out what the whole team is doing there. Please consider donating to the Media Research Center and check out the store while you're there. Find us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on X. And of course, if you want to find me on Gab, you can find me at Gardner Goldsmith there. And if you want to find me on X, you can find me as at Gard Goldsmith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please share the videos, especially from Rumble, where they don't censor us. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.